Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DSP Sports. I'm Don Stevens, and with me is David Beard. How you doing, Dave?
Great, Don. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing awesome, and we have got a jam-packed show for the masses today. Major League Baseball is now in its full swing. What I mean by full swing is that it went from meaningless preseason games to meaningful regular season games. And there have been some upset and some surprises in Major League Baseball. I want to talk about some of the upsets. Boston 1-6, Minnesota 2-4, St. Louis 2-4, San Francisco 2-4. Maybe San Francisco's not too much of an upset there. I'm not sure. Maybe
they're the champions.
Wayne from Boston, a listener to DSP Sports and a fan of our page on Facebook, says that the Boston Red Sox have not had this bad of a season since the 90s.
You know, Boston lost the last 10 games of the preseason, and nobody thought anything of it because it was the preseason.
Yeah.
That did have some effect.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. And I just, St. Louis 2-4? Really?
Hey, and also some breaking news. Manny Ramirez retired today, tested positive again for steroids, so he retired.
Really?
Yep, it just came across via Twitter feed a couple hours ago.
Well, I'm sure that DSP Sports on Twitter retweeted that.
You put it out.
You put it out.
Yeah.
That's what's important. You put it out. Now there have also been some surprises. But before I get to the surprise, the thing I'm shocked at the most, what's wrong with the World Series champions?
They got off to a bad start. I don't really know. The Dodgers beat them 3 out of 4 games opening weekend. And so I think it's just that rivalry. But, I mean, they've won, I think, 2 in a row now. So I'm sure they'll be okay.
Well, speaking of 2 in a row, a team that has surprised me so far this season, just out the gate. Now, they may not hold on to this, but they're not a very good team, or at least they weren't a very good team. Kansas City, 4-3.
No, that's great. Another team that surprised me was Texas Rangers. They were in the World Series, but they lost Cliff Lee, and they're 6-0, so who figured?
6-0. And then, of course, Minnesota, which is a team that's done fairly well, are getting off to a slow start, too, with 2-4.
But I think they won today, so I think they're 3-4. But that is, they normally get off to like this kind of start and usually end up winning the division.
Well, that's a big change for them long term because they haven't been good since Kirby Puckett retired. And then the last couple of seasons, they've really kind of, in my marriage to someone in from Minnesota has undoubtedly helped the Minnesota Twins do better.
Yeah, but the problem is they get into the playoffs, they can't win a round, and they're lucky to win a game because they always have to play the Yankees in Boston, and they can never get out of the first round.
And their division isn't as strong.
Yeah, you got it.
Just like St. Louis is not in a strong division.
Not this year.
Yeah, not last year, and not the year before. From what I hear people talk about all the time. But I would like to see the Kansas City Royals do well. Now they've lost 2 in a row. If they can win 2, 3, 4 in a row and get some steam built, it would be nice to see a St. Louis team that's hopefully doing better than they're doing now, and a Kansas City team that's doing well. If they play each other in interleague play this year, it's always, if you have 2 teams that are doing well, that are down the same highway, it's a little bit more exciting.
For me, as a baseball fan, if the Dodgers can't make it to the World Series, nothing would be greater to see Kansas City versus Pittsburgh, the worst 2 teams like the last 2 decades.
Maybe they need to make a movie with Charlie Sheen as playing a pitcher for Kansas City, and then their luck will be totally turned around and they'll win a World Series.
Nice. A coked out guy paying porn stars and throwing heaters, huh?
Well, hey, it's all about winning.
Yeah.
It's all about winning. Well, that's baseball news. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is something that you want us to talk about, if you're a listener to this show and your favorite team is not being covered and you want them to be covered, you let us know who that team is, and we will spend time on them. But let's move from baseball to the NBA. Dave, you could have gone to sleep after the first couple of weeks and woke up today, and the only team that's in first place now that wasn't in first place then is Miami. But today they have the same record as the Boston Celtics. And
Wow.
one win away from the same record as the LA Lakers.
Well, but the problem is, I think Chicago is just on fire, right?
Yes, Chicago is on fire.
And Don, I know you're thinking that I'm beating up myself here, but the Lakers haven't won a game since I came out last week and talked about how awesome they are. I did the same thing to the Spurs a couple of weeks ago, man. I mean, I just want everybody to know the Lakers are horrible, that they shouldn't be in first place, and I apologize to the Lakers.
Well, if your plan here backfires, I don't think there's enough of a season left for them to lose first place.
They're going to probably in their division, but I mean, they looked like for a minute that they were going to pass San Antonio. But
Well,
then now they've lost 3 in a row.
Well, 3 in a row sucks, and when you lose momentum going into the postseason, it can screw with you mentally.
Yeah, I agree.
It can screw with you mentally.
I would like to see the Bucks beat the Heat last night. Then LeBron James' mom gets arrested, so that was something interesting.
Well, what was the deal with that? What did she do?
I don't know for sure. I've heard rumors. I don't know for sure, but I guess she slapped some security guard and said, "Don't you know who I am?" And she got arrested.
Do people don't understand this? Do you know who I am? Works for 3 people: William Shatner, myself, and George Takei.
It may work for the president.
Depends on who it is.
Okay.
It depends on who it is.
I don't think even if I was famous and rich, I don't think I would ever run. Do you know who I am? Oh my God.
So the playoffs are coming up, and that's going to be exciting. And we're going to devote a show to the NBA playoffs as when they get here. And
yeah, there's going to be some bye weeks coming up here with NASCAR, which will be good to dig in with our playoff picks for NBA.
Absolutely. Now, Masters. Dave,
Okay.
Phil Mickelson is T20 right now. He's tied for 20. Tiger Woods is T3 right now after the second round of the Masters.
Wow. I don't know, man. Where's Westwood, man? I was thinking earlier. I haven't seen any of the Masters, but I know he's probably the best golfer alive who hasn't won a cup or a championship yet. So where is he at?
Well, Dave, Lee Westwood right now is tied at T7.
I'm going to stick with him.
No, yes, T7. Well, stick with him, and that's for good reason. He's just like Tiger Woods started down and was in 21st before today, and he's up to T3. Lee Westwood was 24th before today, and now he's at T7.
Okay, so that's the good side. I like to see the guys who have been really good over the years, who've never won a big one, get that. So I like to see him get that.
Now, Ian Poulter.
A major. What am I thinking of? I like to see the guys who haven't won a major win one.
There you go. Ian Poulter, or Ian Poulter, however they pronounce those names, that are all Britishy sounding. He came out. He said that Tiger Woods did not have a top 5 in him. He called Tiger Woods out. He said that Tiger Woods ain't got top 5 in him. This man right now is at T30, and Tiger Woods is at T3.
Wow.
So maybe Tiger Woods is answering Mr. T30 there with his T3.
Okay. Well, so who are you going with? You going with Tiger?
I am going with Tiger Woods. I am a Tiger Woods guy. I always have been. The way he plays golf, even when he plays golf bad, is better than I'd ever play golf. Of course, that's the truth with all of them, except for John Daly. When he's drunk, I might have the upper hand on him.
Hey, if he wasn't drunk, he may have the upper hand in all of them.
No, you're right, absolutely. And the next thing that I want to talk about, the Masters, is played at Augusta National. Augusta National is a men's club. Lots of people like to whine and complain about them being a men's-only club. Because for some reason in society today, men can't have their own place to hang out. Everything has got to be co-ed. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is this guy. His name is Rickie Fowler. He was wearing his hat backwards during a live interview at Augusta. One of the big dogs at Augusta said, "Turn your hat around." And he says, "No, I think that people want to see my face." Because he had his hat backwards, like, disrespectful, like a punk. And the guy from Augusta looked at him and he said, "No, turn your hat around." You know what the little punk did?
He did.
He turned his hat around.
Yeah, I would have too, man. They don't mess around there.
No, they don't. They'd have kicked him out.
Yeah.
Good news for him.
I like that.
Despite the fact that he turned his hat around, he's T7. He's tied with your man there. So we've got some good golf happening here. We've got Tiger Woods playing like a pro again. We got Phil Mickelson probably sweating it a little bit, but he's the kind of guy that could easily come back from being tied for 20. And we have Ian Poulter, who's at T30 and was dumb enough to criticize the golfing skills of Tiger Woods.
Agreed.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have NASCAR. Do you remember that race that happened last week, Dave?
It was awesome. I mean, I'll tell you what, man, I have a hard time looking at points when Dale Jr. is involved, man. I just want him to win. I'll tell you what, if you pick Dale Jr. and I don't, and you get way up on me in points, I'm good, man. I want to see the guy win.
Well, let's see here. Kevin, let's see. We're looking at Martinsville, correct?
This week, Texas, under the lights.
No. Last week was Martinsville.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Last week was Martinsville, and Dale Jr. did not win like I suggested, like I said he would.
That was a heck of a call by you, man.
Instead, Harvick won.
I think Harvick just had the better car in the long run, and had that lap been another lap, he probably would have came in third. But watching the race on DirecTV inside Junior's car, they didn't have a great car, but man, their pit crew and the pit boss, they were making the best decisions in the pits, and they were taking the right amount of tires, and I mean, they were on fire in the pits.
They were. But let's not focus on the picks that we got right. Let's focus on the picks that we got wrong.
Okay.
Tony Stewart finished 34th.
He just collapsed.
Casey Kane finished 39. No surprise here. Kevin Bayne finished 35. Jeff Burton finished 24th. Carl Edwards finished 18th. Ryan Newman finished 20th.
Yeah, it was.
The rest of your... Now, you picked Kurt... Busch and Denny Hamlin, and that was
guys. Actually, I had like 5. I think you guys said we did pretty good. I don't think we did too bad.
No, we didn't. Neither of us did too bad. But the fact is that some of the people that we picked did not pull through for us at all. And now that brings us to who are we going to pick to win and be in the top 10 this week? Do you have any idea who's supposed to go first, Dave?
This week is my turn, Don.
All right, well, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to go with the top 10 will be Dale Jr. And these are going to be familiar picks, but when you're constantly up there, this is how it rolls, you know.
Oh yeah.
Tony Stewart, and I don't even know if I wanted to, he was a late addition, but I just think he'll be back. Carl Edwards,
Okay.
Kyle Busch, Juan Pablo Montoya, Jimmy Johnson, Hamlin, Burton, McMurray, and for the first time this year, Kenseth.
McMurray and Kenseth. Do you have anyone on your list that you're really shaky about?
I have a couple, but Stewart, to be honest with you, I'm a little nervous about. And I'm a little nervous about McMurray because he's been wrecking a lot. But Burton seems to have a good history there. Denny Hamlin won both races there last year. Okay. So I'm shaky with him because he's had a bad year so far. But, yeah, so I'm a little shaky about a couple of them.
Well, who's your wreck and who's your winner?
My wreck is Don's favorite NASCAR racer, Trevor Bayne.
Trevor Bayne, all right.
And I trying to put my fanhood aside because I said all week I'm going to go with Dale Jr., but I've got to go with what I really think, and I think it's going to be Carl Edwards, so I'm going with Carl Edwards.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, my picks for this race, in no particular order, are Jimmie Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, Juan Montoya, Dale Jr., Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards, and Kasey Kahne. The ones that I'm on the fence about the most is Tony Stewart.
Yep, me too.
And I'm not really sure about Kasey Kahne. But I'm going to go with them anyways. My wreck will be Joey Logano. I believe he is going to wreck. And the winner will be Tony Stewart. And ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP Sports. See you next week.